Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are coming almost to the end of the 4 yogas. We started with Raja Yoga because all the yogas involve certain degree of concentration and meditation. So hence we covered the science of meditation very briefly. Of course, in one talk we finished it. And then we had Karma Yoga 2, then the path of love, Bhakti Yoga, we finished. Now we come to the faculty called reason. How we would attain to illumination or freedom, whatever you call, through the path of reason. Swami Vivekananda in one of his letters says, Advaita Vedanta is the future religion of the thinking people. Thinking people, that's the adjective, thinking. So Advaita Vedanta is the future religion of the thinking people. So we humans are called rational animal. Rational animal. So when the animal in the human has considerably satisfied all the biological needs, psychological needs, economical, political, all sorts of needs are taken care of. And then the human soul gets an opportunity to evolve the higher levels of knowledge. So the reason opens up. And then comes questioning. We ask questions which ultimately lead to answers. In the Vedic time also, India was fortunate. We had fertile land, farming, people had abundance and had ample of time to inquire into the nature of the world around themselves. And that quest led them to the reality which is behind both the living and non-living. So that's very important for us. And once this part has been taken care of, then we start inquiring first life. So there's a preparation is needed before we attempt to Jnana Yoga. Some basis has to be, inner poise has to be cultivated, and the whole universe is just a, what do you call, hideous dance of the ego. We are seeing that. So until and unless certain big branches of the ego is cut, it's very difficult for us to do anything. Hence, Karma Yoga. When Karma Yoga is practiced, then we understand how strong our egos are. Because when you start practicing Karma Yoga, you can't practice it alone. It's not an aloof activity. You have to be amidst people. So when you are, then the clashes of egos come. Then we understand how strong our egos are and how, rigid we are in our thinking. So all these rough edges have to be smoothened. So that friction has to be reduced, and that helps the inner voice. And along with that, meditation. That is where Karma Yoga is very essential. And along with that, the mind has to be. What does the Karma Yoga does? Karma Yoga purifies the ego. The ego understands its limitation and bows down to some higher faculty. That in itself is a big gain. Because of this ego, we take this vessel called mind with our preconceived ideas, which does not allow you to grasp the truth. So hence, Karma Yoga is very, very essential for the purification of the mind, for the softening of the ego. And Raja Yoga is needed for the sharpness, for the concentration of the mind. Systematically, scientifically, you go through, you don't stumble. Why we have to practice systematically? If you do not understand the science of Raja Yoga, you might stumble into some experience and say, there, an angel brought me the message. And there's chances of we becoming fanatic. But when we practice anything scientifically, reason out, think, there's less chance of making mistake. So Raja Yoga is a very scientific way of controlling, sharpening, and directing the mind to any object, any ideology, what we want to realize or whatever it is. So that comes through Raja Yoga. So in Karma Yoga, we abandon all selfish, desire-oriented activities. And then we perform in a detached way. All those actions are ordained. Sincerely, we practice and perform our duties in a right way. So this in itself helps us. It purifies the intellect and it helps us to pursue our goals. And Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga is there. It helps in developing concentration. And both these yogas or spiritual disciplines are aids in the path of bhakti and in the path of jnana. So in Jnana Yoga, preliminary aids, Karma Yoga and Raja Yoga. Of course, Swami Vivekananda has made it an independent path, because all may not fit in with this conceptual ideas of jnana or bhakti. So independently, you can, provided you have the tremendous willpower, because you are left to yourself. You are not taking any aid from out a divine being for grace or help, or be a witness, or nothing of that sort. They have no idea, but simply they want to be good and do good, as Buddha said. For them, it is left. So that's what somebody said. It is also is a path, but in the traditional way, as the Vedas say, both the paths are there. The path of this iti marga, that's bhakti, and the path of neti, not this, jnana yoga. For both of them, this is the preliminary aid, the second one. So when certain degree of calmness and concentration is acquired, and there is this questioning, what do you call, in Sanskrit we call vividhisha, want to know. When this comes into the heart, there's no need for you to go to the scriptures. Your mind itself will start practicing, go in the right path. But still the scriptures, especially Jnana Yoga, advocates 4 preliminary disciplines, very, very essential for those who practice path of knowledge. First is viveka, discernment. This is a very important. And then we have got vairagya, detachment, and samadhi, shat sampatti, 6 virtues. So 6, they are like treasure. Sampatti means treasure. You become rich with these 6 virtues. And above all, mumukshutva, intense desire for liberation, aspiration. These are the 4 sadhana chatushtaya, 4-fold disciplines needed for the practice of Jnana Yoga. To the extent we have cultivated these virtues, to that extent will be the result. And to tell you the truth, overnight nobody can do. Overnight, let's see how it goes. Shankara says in his commentary on the Gita, man remains as man only so long as his mind retains the capacity to discern between right and wrong. When this capacity is lost, he ceases to be a man. So we now understand how essential is this, the power of discernment. So as long as, and he says, even by chance, by out of carelessness, you make mistake. It's like a person on the staircase slips, the ball falls. And what does the ball do? It just bumps and comes down right at the bottom. So the mind, when allowed, just it'll come down. It'll just drag you. So how alert one we have to be. So one of our Mataji who used to take classes, she always used to say, keep the sword of discernment near your bed. Even in dream, you will not go wrong. You should not deviate from the path of that ideal. So to that extent, we need to be very serious about it. And this discernment is like a lamp. Buddha says, Atmadipobhava, be a lamp unto thyself. So true discernment, it's a process by which mind makes correct value judgment. If I do something, will it profit me? It's the nature of the mind to go. So, but when the discernment is awakened, we think, should I do? No. What will be the effect of it? If I do this, what will be the after effect? Mind's nature is such. It will keep pulling, and it will go. And once it has got its work done, then it will put you into shame. This is the nature of the mind. So alertness is needed. Think over, should I do it? Just because. Mind is functioning only because of me, the pure consciousness that I am. Why should I be the servant of this? This mind has been dragging me with the noose. So I will never yield to it. So this sort of strength comes through discernment. And along with that, Shraddha. 3 things are needed. First is this type of awakening. So when Sri Krishna says, as far as discernment, what is right and what is wrong, which is right action, which is wrong action. To know this, you at last, you take to the scriptures. Take the help of the scriptures. So, Shastram pramanante, karya vyavastito. Scriptures are the, it will make decision, which is right, which is wrong for you. Okay, we'll take the help of. If we can't discern, we'll say, what's the matter? What does scripture say about it? We take the help of the scripture. That's one thing. And then you should have faith in the goodness, in the strength of the virtues. That's another important. If we do not have, then we don't perceive. We don't want to do it. We know, however hard, this is a virtuous path, this is the righteous path, this is the dharma. If I do it, I will be benefited. This sort of shraddha should be there. And buddhi, the intelligence has to be used. See, mind is always oscillating, but buddhi is determinating. We take, when the mind oscillates, the buddhi, the intellect says, look, don't do this. This is harmful for you. Listen to it. As we keep listening to it, the mind, buddhi becomes brighter and brighter, purer and purer, and it will direct us. And that is called as Sattvika Buddhi. In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna tells us, Sattvika Buddhi will teach you, which is what is right, what is wrong, what is karya, bhaya, what is to be done, what action has to be done, which is to be avoided, which is to be feared, which is not to be feared. Sometimes, unnecessary fear comes. Unnecessary. So the buddhi will tell you, you don't have to worry about it. You just do this. You'll be fine. The intellect guides us. And what is bondage and what is bandham moksham chayaveti buddhi sa partha satviki. The satviki buddhi, sattva buddhi is that which tells you what is the right action, what's the wrong action, what is to be feared, what is not to be feared, what is liberation, what is bondage. So it's like a map, GPS. So safely we can go. So this, some of the things pertaining to discernment. This is what further later on there is, as we progress in our spiritual life, the depth of our discernment also changes. In Jnana Yoga, from the beginning to end, it is almost like a discernment. Of course, in the beginning, for the beginners, it's a very, very important. Later on, when the buddhi settles, then it's quite, what do you call, tension-free. And then the next comes is vairagya, detachment. Let alone spiritual life. Even ordinary life, without a certain degree of detachment, it's impossible to lead. If you want to lead a sane, peaceful life, certain degree of detachment we have to. Because in the life, everything will not be up to us. We need to let go. This let go is called as detachment. So this has to be practiced. Then both discernment and detachment, they should go together. These are like the two wings of the bird. A bird cannot fly with one wing. It needs both. Both the wings have to be strong. Even if one wing is weak, it's not possible. Both have to be strong. Clear discernment, strong will. Discernment is an intellectual process. Buddhi has got two functioning. One is it discerns, another is will. Both are the characteristics of buddhi. So you may have discernment, but if the will is not there, it will not help. So will is the will to practice, the will to let go. We know so many times, we know Mataji, I know it, but still I can't give up. See, understanding is there. Any attempt to hold on to it is painful. I need to let go. No. We have put all our affection in it. It's very hard to give up. The silkworm, I will show to give an example. The silkworm, the cocoon, through its saliva, it builds, the silkworm, it builds the, what do you call that, shell-like, and the worm dies in it. And out of that, when they boil that, the saliva comes, and out of that, they make the fine silk thread, the silkworm. But if it can come out, break it in. But with so much of love, it has made that home. And then it dies. See, this psychophysical organism is given by God. This is the gateway for liberation, because the nature has evolved such a beautiful thing for us. And in Sanskrit, how nicely this is called as Uttamanga, the best organ in the whole body. This, because it has thinking, discernment. Only human being can do that, none else. So the nature has given this gift for humankind. That's why we say human life, birth is the best. It's a blessing. This is one of the blessings, Shankaracharya's birth, human birth. Because herein you can think. You have got a subjective awareness. No animal has. And then these have to go together. Both must go together. Discernment without detachment is lame. And detachment without discernment is blind. The one doesn't have will, the other one will not understand what to give and what to hold on. See, the both has to go together. And then we can break through this bonds of ego, which is always holding us down to the earth. This is called as vairagya. Then, of course, beautiful, very hard to practice, But still, shama, calmness of the mind, you can attain according to your capacity, how much ever. We try. Do not come completely, but every single attempt is a gain. And then the control of senses. That is why we do fasting. Sometimes we restrain from speaking. And that's very important. Yogasya prathama dwaram vak nirodham. Shankaracharya. The first gateway to yoga is keep quiet, don't talk. Too much of talking. Too much. Stop. And then Upanishad says, Tameva vaikam janatha, anya vacho vimunchata, amritasya esha sages. Stop all of the talk. Know that alone to be the bridge to eternity. Stop unnecessary talk. That's because the mind gets busy and then doesn't have much time to calm it. So much time takes, then, oh, I don't have time to sit for meditation. Get up and go. With great difficulty, you take your asana and sit. And by the time you calm the mind, the time is already up. So we pack up our asana and go. This becomes this on and on and on. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, this goes. So stop unnecessary talk. This is called as sense control. Uparati, withdrawal of the senses, not allowing them towards the sense objects once again. So you have to teach the mind. Mind is a higher sense. 5 senses are there. Other than that is the mind. So with all its vagaries and with all its hardness or what do you call toughness, mind has one good thing about it is it's susceptible to suggestions. You keep giving suggestions. It will one day listen. It will listen. That's how it has to be. It's like a pampered child. You need to tell again and again, casually. You cannot scold and it's prohibited. You can't beat the children or scold them. Then you will be taken away. The children will be, no one can take your mind. But then, that's how the nature does. So you have to bring the mind slowly under control using all types of means. It's Brahmananda says, it's like a pampered child. You hold it, say, come on, leave me, I want to go. So he says, I leave my mind. Okay, go wherever. After some time, it sees whether I'm seeing it or not, whether I'm in. And if I don't just ignore it, it will come back. It's like a child. Mind is like that. We have to train the mind. Be friendly and train it. Don't put pressure on it. It should not know that it is being trained. It is being tamed. That's the one thing. Sri Ramakrishna always, and first he won the hearts of his disciples with love, and then he started guiding them. So that love makes them to accept whatever it says. So we don't have to whip. Sometimes we need to whip. Sometimes we have to be very gentle with our mind and teach. And then if it is not there, then I'll give you one good. You can do all that because it's between you and your mind. You can do all those things and somehow bring the mind back to the object of your meditation or to your goal. And then comes titiksha. It's very important, very important. Much of our trouble starts because we don't have that. We want everybody to listen to us. We don't want to listen to anyone. Everything should be according to our. The world will not listen. We need to put, other than even more than that, even the climate, weather, all these things are there. What a hot day. I couldn't sit and meditate, so I came away. You have to, whether hot or cold, you have to. So this capacity to forbear, it's very essential. Sri Ramakrishna says, they who forbear, they survive. He used to say, sure. And those who do not forbear, they will have to pay for their folly. So this is very essential, be it spiritual life or be it anything. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell Hriday, when I scold you, you keep quiet. Or when you take me to task, I'll keep quiet. If not, if both start fighting, we will be driven out. The temple people will ask us to go away. So you need to, one of the party should be quiet. So this is, you have to follow that. We also have mistakes, they are also, so we have to put up with it. So this sort of, even our general relationship and even spiritual life, all them. Many things may not be up to it. We have to make best use of that which is given to us. And faith, this is very important. Faith in the scriptures. We know about the Atman through the scriptures. Shankaracharya says, nowhere you get this. It's only in the Upanishads. So we study the Upanishad with this faith. And Thomas A. Kempis, he says, when you read the scripture, you should read the scriptures in the same way as it was written. When the scripture, the person who has jotted down his experience, that is called the scriptures, isn't it? One's own experience, transcendental experience has been, that it becomes a part, it like an scripture. Shastri kurvanti shastrani, their lives, the mystic people's lives become the scriptures. So with that faith that this will be helpful for the posterity, so they have, with that faith and with that shraddha, they have done. So we should also have the same. By studying this, by following this path, it will help me in my evolution. This sort of shraddha. Shraddha is not just faith. Shraddha is something which makes you to go towards the goal. It brings all the faculties towards the goal. So it's goal orientation. All the orientation of the mind, body, senses will go towards the goal. So that is called a shraddha. When that has, nothing will go wrong. It's like a fond mother. The yogis, in Patanjali's Yoga Sudra commentary says, that shraddha is a fond mother, always protecting the yogi so that he will not deviate and reach his goal. The parents always want their children to go in the right direction, properly come out as successful children. So just like that, the scriptures are. So we should have that faith. And the teacher, one who teaches, faith in the teacher. I have come to this person is surely will help me. That faith in the teacher's words and faith in oneself is very, very important. That is shraddha. And samadhana. Samadhana is generally written as concentration of mind. Of course, that's one part, one explanation. The other is not to go into unnecessary work. You can't sit quietly, can't face your own mind. I just can't sit. I always have to do something. It is not that you want to do. You can't sit quietly. Sitting quietly, even for 10 minutes, is really good. This has to be taught. And you know what's happening now. Nobody has got time even to sit for a few minutes. So this is called a samadhana, not unnecessarily agitating the mind. As it is in the world, there will be something or other. Without it's uninvited, the agitations come. But we don't have to go and invite it. Try to be as calm as possible. Don't keep doing unnecessary things. This is what is meant by samadhana. So when we have these, one more is there. When we have this, half the battle is fought. And then next comes the mumukshutva. It is, Sri Ramakrishna calls it as vyakulata, aspiration, intense aspiration to free oneself. Certain degree of bondage has to be felt. If I'm happy with myself, everything is fine. You ask, how are you? Fine. Fine. Okay. Be fine. There won't be any motive. There won't be any, need to do all this. So certain degree of dissatisfaction with oneself, certain degree of what bounded you need to feel. Only then that desire for freedom will come. When I'm happy with all the present condition, nothing more. There's nothing more for evolution. Okay, we go on. The nature. Left to nature, nature will take eons. But you have to, if you are an intelligent person, you take the reins of your evolution in your hand. That is called a sadhana. That is called a shraddha. So That's Shankaracharya says, if a person understands the immanence of the world, the impermanence, the bondage that he is feeling, the disciple has to run to a guru just like a person whose hair is caught with fire. How a person whose hair is caught with fire runs to a lake, water, there is water, runs and dips himself, gets it. So that burning sensation has to, that sort of feeling has to come. Only then. If you are hungry, only then you will eat. If the stomach is full, who cares to eat? So, or Holy Mother says, everything is in the pantry. You need to prepare and eat. But if you are not hungry, who will take all the trouble of eating? There's no need. So keep starving. Even sometimes if you feel hungry, lazy enough to not going and putting your effort and eating. So this is what happens. Everything is there in the nature. The scriptures are there. The teacher is there. The time is there. The favorable conditions are there. Still laziness. Who wants to do all this? So be happy with your condition. That's what the scripture says. So one must feel a certain degree of what do you call it? Bondage or uneasiness. Only then we try to go. Otherwise, all this study and listening will become just like a scholarly discussion. It is one sort of enjoyment. It's scholars' enjoyment, discussing, indulging in intellectual speculations. It will become like that. It will not bring any liberation or mukti. All twisting the scriptures and how it can be. This is my perspective of seeing all these discussions. That's one thing about the discussion. Unnecessary time is spent on unnecessary things. So anyway, that's also, there is a help. But keep your aspirations firm. The lamp of aspiration should be always burning, then free. The next comes the guru. Then we go to teacher and we seek. We have discussed last time just quickly, I go through. The guru's life should be pure. Nobody can, unless a person is pure, he can't be a teacher. It's not psychology or philosophy in the university. There can be anything. For a university philosopher, he can be, doesn't matter. His personal life doesn't need. But if you are a teacher, the light has to come from one's own light, from the soul to soul. So purity is very, very important. Purity and desireless, unsmitten by the desire, no ulterior motive. I'll make this person is rich, so I'll make him my disciple so that I can. So this sort of selfish motive shouldn't be there. And above all, he should know the spirit of the scriptures. May not be highly, what do you call, scholar, pandit. No, but he knows what the spirit of the scriptures. He is a tyagi. So he has made his thought, word, deed same. That's about the teacher. Once you see such a person, you are safe, in your safe hands. And when you go to the teacher, you have to go with humility. We read in the Mundaka Upanishad, you take the Samit and go to the teacher. So you empty yourself. Don't have any preconceived ideas. It's an obstruction. It's a hindrance to your spirituality. Go like a child and ask, and the teacher will teach you. He will teach you according to the right scriptural injunctions. He will impart to you. And that you need to shravana, attentive hearing. Because if you have your preconceived ideas, you will be pondering about it. And what the teacher says, you will be making a comparison to it. And you'll say, is it right? Did he say this is what doesn't mean this one? Also, but just like a child, go listen to him. That will help you. Swami Vivekananda always used to say, Adbhutananda was an illiterate, absolutely illiterate. So that was the greatest benefit, blessing for him. Swamiji says, so much of things have gone into our head. So it was so hard. He had to fight with his preconceived ideas. Swamiji even used to say, if I can get a medicine, that all what I have learned, if I forget, it would be good. So much of knowledge. And sometimes it's a hindrance too. So go like a child and listen attentively to what the teacher says. Then reflect on it, manana. Then meditation on the truth as the person or the aspirant comprehends it. Because with all this training, the mind is very, very alert, the mind is receptive, and the mind is in a position to understand the subtle truth. The mind has become, the quality of the mind has become very transparent. So it can grasp the truth, the buddhi. See, buddhi grahyam, atmanis, buddhi grahyam atindriyam. Atmanis beyond the senses. The senses cannot grasp, but the buddhi can grasp because buddhi is very close to the atma. So when this buddhi is purified, when the buddhi has become so sattvic, it easily understands the light within. So that's it. That's how. And what does he comprehend? That even if it is not so deep, a strong intellectual conviction that I am separate from this body and mind. The body or the senses will not dominate. And the vagaries of the mind will not disturb you. You can just push the mind. No, that capacity comes with this, all this sadhana chatushtaya and practicing. And then the aspirant understands that he is something different from the Atman. So once that is made, now just theory, what do you call, in a nutshell, let's try to understand. See, everybody knows what Brahman is. Brahman is eternal, without attributes, formless. We have nothing to worry about it. Even now, I am Brahman, you are Brahman, that's fine. All our problem is with the world and our mind. These are the what do you call, the multiplicity of the universe, the duality of the universe is the problem. So the whole of Advaita Vedanta is more towards this, to understand what is wrong, what is unnecessarily needed, to remove this. That is why it's a neti. This, it's a subjective experience. It is not an objective. So neti, you are not this, not this. So if you have to deny your body, if you have to deny your mind, you have to understand it, what it is. Only then. So Advaita is mainly about this. We don't have to worry about any of the truth, because it will, once the mind and body is denied, the truth is always there. Even otherwise, it is there. How to deny, how to understand. This is what the Advaita means. Advaita, non-duality. One without the second. This is the name of this. Jnana Yoga is mainly dealing with the Advaita Vedanta. And it derives its name from the fact that it recognizes only one reality, which is Brahman. It has no, the world and the jivas, we, individual souls, are not given any permanent status. Permanent reality is not given. Yes, it is there, but it's secondary. The one pure, infinite, unalloyed consciousness is the ultimate reality. This is about Brahma. It says Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Brahma Satya. Brahman is real. World is unreal. This is, of course, this generalization is still half. Later on we'll go, but we don't have to go now, right? We are not prepared for it. So we don't go. Now we say the world is, Brahman is real, world is unreal. So we need to understand two things, real and unreal. What does Advaita Vedanta mean by real? Real means that which will not be contradicted by any experience. Time is a very important factor. So truth which will not be sublated by in the past, present, and future. Trikala Abhadita Satya. It was there, it is there, it shall be there. It is not subject to any modification or change or contradiction in time. So that's an. And mithya, what is mithya? What is unreal? That's the important. Real we understood. It is there. What is unreal? So how does unreal is that which will not stand test. It will not stand test. When you reason out, it is shaken. So that is the truth. That is called as mithya. Mithya is that it doesn't stand truth. It just vanishes. So according to Advaita, how does Advaita explain the multiplicity of the universe or the world? Is that the, yeah, duality is explained. How does Advaita? Through its concept of anirvachaniya khyati. Anirvachaniya khyati. See, what does it mean? Theory of erroneous cognition, which defies logic. You cannot logically put this question. How did it become? How did it become? How did the one become many? Or explain the duality. It cannot be. So anirvachani. Why? And beautiful example is it is not real. It is not unreal. So what is not real? It's not real and it is not unreal. It is not real because when the truth is brought, it just vanishes. And it is not unreal also because you see it is there. So the theory of erroneous cognition, which defies logic, says, for example, the two examples they give. One is, this is a standard example. Many times you have heard it, like a snake in the rope. There's a rope at a time, it not much light. When the circumstances are very congenial, at that time, this sort of things happen. So we superimpose snake on the rope. So this superposition is called as, I don't want to go into Sanskrit words, adhyaropa. Only once I'll repeat. Adhyaropa means superimposition. What is truth? It is covered and something it looks as if it's transformed into something. Just let me come back again. So this adhyaropa, this superimposition is the cause for the snake in the rope. So they are neither real, sat, or unreal. They are not real. Like unreal, asat. Real is truth. It is not unreal like the horns of a rabbit. Now, for example, you say, oh, I saw a rabbit with horns, beautiful horns. No, you have mistaken. It was not. It raised ears. You mistake it for horns. So horns on the rabbit is unreal. It's not. It is an illusion of your eyes. So the world is unreal means it's like this. And since it is actually, and it is not unreal also, it is not unreal like the horns of the rabbit. Since it is actually perceived, you see, when a person says there's a horns of the rabbit, he has seen it. He feels that he has seen it. And hence he says, it is real since it disappears. Once you see, hey, come on, let me see which rabbit. What do you mean? So you go, hey, it's not the horns, it's the ears, the big ears of the rabbit. When you say, the horns have gone, it's not there. So this is the difference. So anirvachaniya means it's incapable of precise definition. So then what is the truth? Truth of this universe, this phenomenal truth. It is sadasad vilakshana. It is different from both real and unreal. Due to logical necessity, Shankaracharya has brought this idea. Sadasad vilakshana. The truth of the universe is something different from real and unreal. And what's the cause for this erroneous cognition? Ajnana, ignorance. And ignorance is bhavarupa. What's meant by bhavarupa? Shri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata. The unreal doesn't have existence. The reality never ceases to exist. It's always there. So bhava is something, it's there. And how does it become positive and existent? You say, what are you telling, Mataji? Brahman is real. And then again, you are telling world is bhavarupa. How it is? Because the substratum is there. Because the substratum is there, you perceive the world. If substratum wasn't there, you will never have the perception of the world at all. No Brahman, no world. But Brahman can be without the world. No world doesn't matter. Brahman exists by itself because it is always there, existent. It's isness itself. But if you perceive the world, you have to invariably perceive the consciousness behind. There's nothing in this world, be subjective or objective, without that consciousness behind, that substratum behind, which holds in theistic language, in the language of Bhakta, this is what we call that which supports the world. Like yesterday we had the Jagadhatri Puja. Jagadhatri, one who supports the world. It's Brahman. Apart from Brahman, the world doesn't exist at all. So the Shakti aspect of the Brahman is worshipped as the mother of the universe, who holds, who supports. The mother holds, mother bears, mother holds. So Brahman is the support of the universe. And it is without any support. Niradhara swarupoham sarvadharoham evacha. I am without any support. I need no support, but I am the support of all. Means as consciousness, I don't need any support. I am everywhere, all pervading, infinite, all pervading. What can hold me? That's my real nature. But I hold, as consciousness, I hold the whole universe. That's what Shankaracharya sings. He goes almost into ecstasy when he ponders over the true nature of himself. And this happens with the two Shakti, two power. What is? One is the veiling power. It veils the reality, and the other, Vikshepa Shakti, which transforms the reality. So this transformation of the one into many, that is living and non-living, is just apparent. Brahman has not changed. Brahman is always non-dual. It is always one. The transformation is apparent transformation. It is not real. Once you see the truth of the rope, you bring the light, a flashlight, and put. How? What a silly person you are. You got frightened. It's just a rope. See, the snake has disappeared. It's just the rope. All panic. Hey, the black snake has come in. Brown snake has come. All sorts of snakes. Fear, run, everybody. In Australia, especially, people are very afraid of snake. In India, snakes just go by our feet sometimes. In one of our Mataji, she was sitting in at the banks of the Ganges enjoying, and suddenly she sent something creepy, sticky, what? The snake had nicely coiled her feet. She got so frightened. She shook in such a way that it fell into the water. Then when she came out and said, then the elder scolded her, never go like that at night. So they're good snakes, I suppose. Not so poisonous like Australian snakes. Anyway, that's fun. And another, just the subject is too dry. You will sleep off. I'll just make a little bit joke. You know, in one of our center, I was there at that time, Brahmacharini. And so it was Swami Vivekananda's birthday, January. And it's very cold. And you know, like here, daylight is small. So it was Arati, evening Vespers is there. So we were rushing quickly. One of our sister, she checks everything, whether everything is locked, back door and all that. She was. And then afternoon, they had cooked, the cooks had made. And that place was quite warm. So unwanted guest had come. It was so cold. So and then it had coiled itself and sat. And in India, we don't use this metallic brush and all that. We use this coconut, what do you call this? Nara, we say, fiber. With that. It's very, so in the afternoon, volunteers had washed all the vessels. So one of our sisters said, look, they have left everything like that. She went to put her hand on it. It was a rattlesnake. Rattlesnake. It made and went. She got so frightened, but it was so calm, quiet, almost, in same twilight, half dark, half light. And I said, oh, every said there's rope and snake. Here a snake and rope. You thought snake to be rope. She would have put her hand. And so such type of delusions do occur. So this is called as erroneous, and that is due to the ignorance of one's nature. I don't know that I am pure consciousness, and I identify. This is the problem with us. The only problem, somehow, I, the pure, infinite, one without the second, somehow I don't know how I think that I am a human being. I am this body mind. I identify with my body, with my mind, and then immediately I am separate from you, and then you don't agree with me, I don't agree with you. This is an old problem. Everything starts with this. And where does problem start with? This identification. So hence, the only solution is constant discrimination, constant discernment. This is called as Drik Drishya Viveka. You are the eternal subject, and the world is seen object. So we will, in the next talk, we will deal with some of this, how to arrive at the truth of Advaita through some of the methods. Not many are there. There are like, we have got Drigdrishya Viveka is one of the way to do it. And then discerning the 5 sheets. And another one is 3 states of consciousness waking. These are the things. All ultimately will lead you to the same experience, but it is all, no amount of theory will do. Practice, practice, practice. Constant practice, not morning and evening. Around one brahmachari of Ramakrishna Ashram, he joined, and as a novice, soon he found out, oh, the amount of work he has to do. So poor fellow, he went to the secretary in charge. He said, Swami, I need 6 hours for self-analysis. 6 hours. I said, why 6 hours, my boy? You need all 24 hours. Self-analysis has to go even in the sleep. So he didn't know. So like this, Jnana Yoga means there's no time. Morning, half an hour meditation and little japa, and evening japa, that's fine. That's for any other yoga. For Jnana Yoga, all 24 hours, 307 weeks, 365 days, we have to be always alert, attentive, alertness. Tasma, Jagrata, Jagrata, because the robbers are already there. They are there. The 6 robbers are there. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madha, Matsarya. All these are there. So always vigilant and always keep the lamp of the discernment bright. The wind of desire is always there. Protect it, and that will lead us to the truth, whatever is there. Thank you.
There's some time for question answer. If you have any questions, yes, Fred.
Just wondering that we talk about shining the light on the rope to dispel the illusion of the snake, but we couldn't shine enough light on the material world to reveal Brahman behind that. That's an experiential matter, isn't it?
Yeah, see, this example this superimposition is going out, but actually it is not outside, it's within. So you have to shed light. To shed that light, you turn. See, the light is there and the light is always going out. Isn't it? Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful example. The sergeant goes with the lantern in hand. In those days, they had 3 sides, it will be covered. One side, the light will be there. With that lantern, the sergeant goes around. And then everybody see everything through that light. But if you want to see the surgeon's face, you have to ask him, sir, can you just turn the light this side? Let me look at you. So in the same way, it's the light of the consciousness. This awareness is there. That light is, with that light, we do all. We are using that light day and night. It's with that light we see the whole universe of the objective world.
But it's not a material light in the sense, the light that comes out.
Light needn't have to be material. Understanding itself is, that is why we say na tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Understanding itself is called as light. Light and understanding. Understanding what happens? Understanding, it reveals you from the ignorance. Ignorance is always depicted as darkness. And knowledge is always depicted as light. The buddhi itself is bright. The buddhi, when it's a buddhi, it's through the mind only. How many of you see through eyes? Many things we perceive through mind, through the buddhi. So it is the light. Light means understanding. The buddhi itself will make you understand the material, what the material world is of. For that, first you have to go internally. You yourself I myself have to know what I am truly. The moment I am free from the ignorance of my true nature, to that extent, even the outward world also I can see. So actually it has to be subjective. First, the ignorance. That's why Sri Krishna in his Bhagavad Gita, when he was talking about the Vibhuti, he doesn't say, I'm this, I'm this. I am the Atman in you. Ahamatma Gudakesha. First, he pointed out the heart. I am here within you. So start it from here. So if this ignorance is removed, then the material ignorance also will be removed. If we can understand that the material world is nothing but Brahman. Yeah. Did I answer you?
Yeah, it's just that it's not it's a different kind of light.
Yeah.
That was just-
Understanding itself is a light.
Yes,
Understanding
But
itself.
it's not like, it's because it's not, we're not dealing with the material world, we're dealing with what's behind the material.
It's
world.
spiritual light.
Yes.
It's the light within.
Just thank you.
Consciousness is always effulgent.
By the way, I forgot to mention, those joining us via Zoom, you are able to ask questions too. And I'm noting that Vin has submitted to the chat a question. And namaste to Martin, everyone, from Vin. Thank you for another wonderful talk. Regarding the slide on Nidhyasana, the slide mentions to meditate on the truth as comprehended by the aspirant. So Vin's question is there not a danger of meditating on the wrong object as the aspirant has misunderstood, miscomprehended the truth object, etc.? If so, what are some ways to mitigate this for the aspirant?
Yeah, that can happen only when the training is not given to the mind. This miscomprehension will not happen because first fourfold discipline, if it is practiced sincerely to certain degree of purity or clarity instead of the purity, I should say, let me use clarity, it becomes clear. So the clarity is there. It is for that sake, first the fourfold virtues have been. This fear will be there only when it is not practiced. When we take Jnana Yoga as an intellectual something and just for discussion, Advaita is not for discussion, it's for experience. However much you may discuss, still there will be some loophole in arguments. Why? Because the truth of Advaita is not given to speech and mind. The mind and speech cannot reach there. It's an subjective experience. You can never understand the Atman. You can never know the Atman. Why? Because you are the knower. The whole world sees you, but you don't see your face. Like all of you are seeing, but I do not know. If I have to see my face, I need to have a mirror. So only reflected consciousness is there. The unreflected or the witness consciousness, you are the witness consciousness. The very substratum of your body, mind, intellect, ego. Even the ego, no. The feeling you are aware of. It's the light behind that, which gives you the idea that you are an individual. This is the defect of ego. The moment it comes, oh, I'm an individual. There are two. Dvitiya dvai bhayam. Fear is when you see two. There's only one. There's one without the second. Whom to fear? Whom to fear? No. I am always alone. So this is a very great help. Spiritual life, sometimes it's too monotonous. It can be. So remember, you are always alone. Never be afraid of loneliness, aloneness. Be always alone. That is why all these retreats, sitting quietly, being with ourselves, just by myself. This is a training we keep. We don't know for what reason we became many. We do not know. It's an illogical argument or question to say that, how did I become many? How did ignorance come? There's no question for that. As long as we are in ignorance, there's no answer for it. If we can get out of the ignorance, we say we never were ignorant. I never was ignorant. I was always one infinite. If I am not one infinite eternally, I can never be. You cannot make it. So whatever you are already that. So by Advaita, you aren't going to gain anything new, because you are already that. If you weren't that, you never would have been. You will never gain it. So you are always that, whether you are in ignorance or in knowledge, you are always one infinite, pure awareness. That is the truth of about us. So it's a wonderful idea, amazing, isn't it? We are that, yet it is so difficult for us to understand who we are. So much of identification over the eons. Not one life or two life, not even one creation. Do not know when we start thinking that we are many. And it's continuing. But Sri Ramakrishna says, one strike of a match is enough to light the house. 1,000 years darkness will be lighted in a flash. So once we understand this and break the crust, there we are. So it can be eternally happy, because happiness, ananda, is our true nature. It's for that. Why do people work hard? Why do all this? To be happy. But happiness always eludes us. It's just slips through our fingers. So as long as we find somewhere there, this will happen. When I find it here, nobody can take it. It's mine always. So this is what Advaita says. Be happy. Don't be a beggar. You are king. The whole thing belongs to you. Why should you be a beggar to go to the door of senses? A little joy from touching, a little joy from the tongue, a little joy from seeing, a little joy from smelling. No, it is you who are giving life to all these things. It is, Ram Prasad says, oh mother, Ram Prasad is a mystic saint, he says, because your creation is so sweet that I go behind it. Why? Because God alone is a substratum. Brahman alone is a substratum. And very tiny fraction of that bliss is just, it's trickling through the body, through the mind, intellect, mind, and the senses. And we are so happy with it. We are so happy. Sri Ramakrishna says, big merchants, they have got in the granary lot of grains. There's a fear of rats, mice, everything. So what the merchant does is he mixes up some molasses with the butter on this puffed rice, and it becomes nice crunchy. Then he keeps them outside the granary. So when the rats come at night, the nice aroma of the butter and all that, jaggery, it comes, and they start, and it's nice crunchy. Whole night they keep on munching, and they don't go in search of the granary which is there. So the senses, Mahamaya has put this senses, and she has sprinkled a little bit of bliss of Brahman on that. So the senses are so happy, so nice. Oh, there's a beautiful scenery. Oh, there's a beautiful ice cream. Oh, that's a wonderful person to have a good friendship. So this is how we go. But all the while, so much of joy, infinite joy is inside. So it is, Maya is called as kuhaka, deceptive. It is indeed very deceptive, taking us away from ourselves. So Advaita promises by constantly discerning, one fine day will break the crust of name and form and perceive the reality that's within. I suppose that's it. No more questions? Thank you.
So this coming Friday night, we have the Bhagavad Gita discussion that'll be led by Sridharaprana. Next Sunday, we have the Vedanta Book Club meeting. We continue delving into the book Vedanta in Practice, Spiritual Unfoldment. That's, of course, as most of you know, lectures given by Revered Pravrajika Jnana Mataji. We're starting a new chapter in that book called Refining the Ego. So that's what the theme for next Sunday's Vedanta Book Club meeting. Please note, Friday nights, the 14th and 21st of November, we won't be having the discussion. I'm going to be away. I'm heading off to India. We're joining Raj Banerjee, and a little group of us will be there to be part of the celebrations for the 75th anniversary of the Sri Sharada Math's Matri Bhavan Hospital in Calcutta. That's been doing wonderful work for women and children all these years. So they're a big celebration there. While I'm away, especially to note that on Sunday, the 16th of November, Jnana is going to be giving the talk on Holy Mother, the embodiment of purity, simplicity, and solemnity. And now we'll conclude with a guided meditation. I'll be conducting that, and I'll just need a few minutes to get set up for that. Of course, by the way, this is part one of the Jnana Yoga talks by Sridharaprana, all part of the series of talks on the 4 yogas. And so she'll be giving the final talk in the 4 yoga series, Jnana Yoga, the Path of Knowledge, part 2. That'll be on the 23rd of November, Sunday. So please don't miss that.